Hello, Cherries. Welcome to Live Jerry Cherry Sunday, Special Monday, episode 241. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to use triads as a framework for improvising over a minor blues progression. So check this out. I have a little loop here that I created on my Boss RC5 loop station, and give a little example of what we're going to do. Here it is. All right, that's the example. If you're enjoying this video so far, hit that like button, ring the bell for notification, subscribe to the channel. This is going to be really cool. Trying to keep this really simple within the minor pentatonic framework here. Kind of pointing out certain triads here. So if you look at the A, well, first of all, the progression is just an A minor to a D minor to an A minor. D minor. Back to A minor. E minor. D minor, A minor, D minor, A minor, E7, back to A minor, right there. So we could focus on, I'm not even thinking of scales or pentatonic scales or anything like that. I'm really thinking of just the triads, minor triads over here over the three chords. And then there's going to be another, the last turnaround will be a major on the 5 chord, but we'll get to that in a second. So go ahead and show you this on the screen right here. So if you look at this shape right here, over the 1 chord, the A minor, you can use the triad. And I don't have any graphs right now, but I'm going to build some graphs once I edit this video down. I'll give you some graphs for these triads. But you can see my fingers here. It's this shape right here, like this E shape A, E minor shape A, like this. Starting on the root, the 3rd, and the 5th. You could always hit those notes, target those notes. Or also right up here. and this string set, the top 3 strings. So you can start off with one of those chord tones. Any one of these. And then when it goes to a fast 4, what the fast 4 means is it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. So on the second bar, really I'm hitting the D minor. So right there, keeping it in the same area, I'm going to this D triad, D minor triad. Right there. Right there. Okay. Back to A minor. So the first chord, A minor to D minor. Triad right there. Back to the A minor triad. And you could utilize the pentatonic scale as well. Or an arpeggio, which is the root, the 7th, 5th, 3rd. Really the only difference between the arpeggio and the minor pentatonic is that there's one more note in the minor pentatonic, which is this note right here. The 4th degree. Right there. Or you have, without the 4th, is the arpeggio, or just the triad, it's just the 3 notes to the 4 chord. To this, to the C over the 4 chord, which is the 7th. Bending up to the D. And that brings you into another shape right here, this another triad, this second inversion, starting on the 5th degree. Winding up on the E, on the 5 chord, E minor, the same as the D minor triad. You have an E minor triad, D minor triad, back to the A, D minor triad, A minor, and here's major. Let's see, it must be flat here. That note. Get that in tune. Okay. So you have that 5 chord, which is a major, to the minor, to the A minor. Or you could play E7 right there. Or you can go like this. Sharp to 5. That sharp 5 is the minor 3rd of the A. D minor. Pretty cool. If you're enjoying this so far, hit that like button. Any questions about any of this stuff, please let me know. I'm just trying to work up through the different patterns here. So with this blues, we could take it from even the lowest part, these triads right here. Check this out. Hopefully you're enjoying this here. Hello, Jeffrey Boyo. Give you a round of applause. Got a little lost in that last one. I don't really play my Les Paul too often now, and these fret markers are throwing me off. So, trying to focus on the triads here of each one of these chords on the blues. On the A minor, take these three, this triad set right here. You got the A, you got the fifth, and the third right here. This would be a first inversion, because you have the third on the bottom here. Second inversion right here. And the root version right there. And then while I'm up here, I can think of, well, where's the D minor triad, the closest one? There's one right there. Because it's a little closer up. Picture right here. So any questions about this stuff, please let me know. I'm going to try it right there, and then A. There's the E minor right there. It's right here. Back to the D minor here. A minor triad. D. Then again, E major triad too. try that. Take another pass at this. Pretty cool stuff here. Thanks for hanging out with me. Any questions, please let me know. I'm going to give you a round of applause. Live number 241. Can you believe it? Still drinking my same Italian espresso beans that I made on episode 1. No, just kidding. What are you drinking out there? Let me know. I know it's beer o'clock somewhere out there in the world. So it's this really, really cool tip. I'm not even thinking of the A minor pentatonic scale at all. Not for a second am I thinking of this scale. I probably should be. But you don't really even have to. Hello, Darth Cat. Give you a round of applause. Thank you for that. Very kind of you, Darth. Are you a blues player yourself? Right there? Minor blues? So really, really cool thing here. Looking at all of the different possibilities of the triads here. So, you know, one thing you could do is, now check this out. I mean, there's arpeggios, there's triads, and you have the scale. And hello, Jeffrey Boyle, drinking some cold brew. That sounds nice. Really, really, really nice. Love me some cold brew. So, you know, we're playing triads here, but really they're like arpeggios too. The only difference is the triad is like is a chord, like that. It's triad, 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 triad. And arpeggios is when you play the chords broken up, like, or adding the 7th degree, like that. Because you're playing really an A minor 7 chord here. Then with the D chord, same thing. Arpeggio. When I say arpeggios, I'm not talking about like ripping out like Yngwie arpeggios, you know, just kind of, which is that. That's not like an Yngwie arpeggio. I I just mean really arpeggios to focus on the chord tones. Dr. Cat. So triads are just the main notes of a chord. Sorry, I'm a learner. LOL. I've been playing fingerstyle for many years, but just started dabbing in the blues like 3 days ago. Okay. So just 3 days ago you started playing the blues. Okay. All right, well that's pretty cool. All right, so yeah, I mean, triads just the main notes of the chord. Yep, pretty much. Because you have the A minor chord like this. And the triad is just the root, the third, and the fifth. And that's it. So this chord, this A minor chord, is just the root, third, fifth, and the octave again. So the triad is just the basic main part of the chord, the body of the chord here. And the arpeggio would be if I break them up into, if I play them consecutively, the notes, instead of all at the same time here. Plus, I could play the 7th degree in the arpeggio. Like that. Arpeggios for soloing, blues, chords. It's cool. Yeah. Pretty cool, Darth. Give you a round of applause for that. And, but, you know, keeping it really simple, using just using the triads as a framework, you could see where all the chord tones are here. If I go up to here, same thing up here, different versions of the A minor. You have it right here, you have it here, you have it here, A minor here, you have it here, you have it here. So no matter where you are, now you can think of the D when it goes to the 4 chord. You think of the D triad, and where's the closest D triad to here? It's right there. I'll give you a closer up look. Like, so no matter what inversion you're at, if you're up here on this A minor, there's the D minor triad right there. Tuning. All right, there, close enough for rock and roll. So no matter where you are, here's the 4 chord right next to it. And think of semitones is a really, really good thing to do too. Think of how close, like between the 1 chord and the 4 chord, like where are the semitones there? Like right there. Like the semitone is just a half step. So between the A minor and the 4 chord goes to the D. It's killing me right there. Dang it, stupid G string. 1 second. Okay. So A minor, a half step to this note, the 5th degree of A minor. Going up a half step is the 3rd of the D minor. And then back down to the 1 chord. Now where's another half step to the 5 chord? Right there. So I'm going down now from this A minor, from the 3rd degree to right here. That's the 5th of the 5 chord. You can play that note. It's the 7th D minor. And finally, on the 5 chord, you can play there E major, and then 1. And that happens wherever you are, in whatever position, up here. So really the 5 is always going to go into the 3rd of the 4 chord right there. So I have the 4 chord here. Here's the D shape, D minor shape, to the A minor. Now when it goes to the 5 chord, you have the shape right here, E minor, triad. Root, 5th, 3rd. So back to the 4 chord. Right there is A minor. 4 chord, A minor. Now going to the 5, it's major, so now it's like a major triad. So before you had an E minor, now you have E major. Back to the A minor. You could also spice this up a little bit by play this, the F note in there. That would make this like a Phrygian dominant. You know? Because basically it's the same thing as the E minor scale, except you're just raising, the A minor scale, you're just raising this note from a G to G sharp to make the E major right there. You could still play the rest of the A minor scale. Harmonic minor, E harmonic minor. A harmonic minor over the E. Which makes Phrygian dominant. To the A minor. So any questions about this, please let me know. And pretty cool stuff. Give you a round of applause. Yeah, this is all based around, it's based around playing the minor triad over all 3 chords. And this really relates to any key you're in. So if you're in A minor, you have, let's blow this up here for you. A minor, just like this. Here's the triads. The D minor, minor triad right there. A minor triad. D minor triad. Back to A minor here. Or here. Or there. E minor triad. D minor. A minor. There's A minor triad right there, starting on the third, fifth, Brew. Oops, then you have over the E, 5 chord. Alright. Any questions, let me know. If you're enjoying this so far, hit that like button. Any questions, let me know. And pretty simple concept here. But one thing you have to remember too is that the scale, the main scale is going to be an A minor scale. And that's like over the whole thing. So check this out. You have the A minor scale. Minor scale. Except for that very end, when it goes to that 5 chord, you could take the A minor scale and just make it a harmonic minor scale. And all you're doing is just taking here's A minor. You take the 7th degree and you raise it up a half step. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, octave. Harmonic minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here's the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Harmonic minor is. So I just took this G and I went up the G sharp. And what that does is it makes the 5 chord, the E, major. When you go to the A, there's a nice resolution. Pretty cool. You are awesome at this. You must have been playing for a long time, I'm guessing. Actually, I just started 3 days ago. No, I'm cool. I'm kidding. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you. Very, very, very cool. Thank you for that. But it is good to know that over a minor blues progression like this, you play the minor scale. Or you can play the minor pentatonic scale. Right? Over the 4 chord, just play the D note of the minor pentatonic. I mean, a lot of people do that over the whole progression, right? They'll play the minor pentatonic scale. playing the whole minor pentatonic scale. Playing the minor pentatonic over the whole thing. That's just an abbreviated short version of the minor scale that we played earlier over the whole thing too. We were just adding the minor scale to it too. Hello Rusty Islander, nice overdrive blues tone. Thank you. I'm just using my what am I using here? Just my Les Paul straight into the interface, which is the Strymon Iridium. But I'm using an overdrive pedal, which is a hot tone. It's called Hot Tone Blues, I believe it is. Just a blues and Hot Tone Blues pedal. I've had this for a while. I like it. It's a slight overdrive, you know. Without it. Just with it. Stupid thing in tune, right? I'm gonna tune for your pleasure here. Oh, bear with me a second. The B, my G string, maybe a little sharp right there. Temperature in this room is always fluctuating during this live, so my strings like to go crazy. Get this in here once and for all. And let's try that. Try that there. That's the overdrive pedal. for that. So yeah, I've been practicing the minor scale, and I can play the notes, but I think listening and getting ideas on what works will help. My notes need flourishing, bends, slides, I think. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, the most important thing right here is, you know the framework. It's making it sound good, right? It's trying to just get the bends in tune, like when you hit this one chord. Getting it in tune, first of all, the guitar, like I just spent 5 minutes doing. And live. Thanks for bearing with me. And focusing on these chord tones, the root, the third, the fifth, trying to make them sound as good as I could. Like if you hit this root note, just a simple vibrato really helps. Like over this one chord, check this out. Just vibrato. Just shaking a little bit. Bending up to it. Make sure you hit the right pitch. Get a good grip on there. Bend up to the A. The D note. Target notes. Here's the chord. Triad shape. Right there. So that's the fifth of A minor. Here's the E minor. Check this out. Over that 5 chord. So really just focusing on, what sounds good. Trying to make it sound good. And Rusty, Highlander, I'm late to the party. Did you go over playing to the chord changes? Yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing, but we can keep going over that. Did you go over playing to the chord changes? Yep, that's what we're doing. We're playing over the A minor, the D minor, A minor. Cheat on that. Alright. We'll leave it there. Got the A minor chord. D minor. And over each one of these chords, I'm focusing on just the triads that go along with it. Just like, this one chord. Like I'm right here in this E shape, A minor chord. E shape because it looks like an E minor right here. E. And within this pentatonic, I have this triad here. And those are really the chord tones of this chord that I'm playing. There's the 4 chord. Triad. Look, I just went over a semitone to the 4 chord. That's the chord shape. D minor. A. You can play up here. Here's the C. That's the third, the octave of this. And over the E minor, same thing here. Like the D, you just slide that up. Over that 5 chord. Same thing here, just play like a little lick here. D. A minor. The 4 chord. A minor. Then E. That's the one major chord that's thrown in there. Because it really is a nice cadence back to the 1 again. Oh, not that one. A minor, like this. Or this one. That's just an E minor, sharp 5 there. Gets the E, the 3rd, the 5th. Here's a triad, right? Root, 3rd, 5th. Just take the 5th, sharp 5. Yeah, that's not a chord. But all that is just the 3rd of A. So it's in the scale. A minor scale. Which you could play over this whole thing. Look, I'm landing though on the D of the A minor scale. So I play A minor scale. D, it all works. I'll play A minor scale over the D chord. Back to the A. E. D. A. D. A. E. Except right there I messed up. I should have switched to A harmonic minor. Which all it is, like I said, is just raising the G to a G sharp. Or just raising the 7th degree up 1, which makes the E major. Something like that. All right, any questions about this? Let me know. Having a good time playing some blues here. Hopefully that helped a little bit. Rusty, playing over the changes. It's just 3 chords and it's all the same. That's the beautiful thing. It's slightly different though, and that's where I was getting at. Let me just read this here for a sec before going with that. Clarence, hey Jerry, nice minor blues triads lesson. Thank you very much for that. Very cool. And Darth Cat, IGTG, subbed though. Thank you, sir. I learned a few things. Awesome. Well, I am grateful for that. Thank you for subbing. Very, very cool of you. You know, you could play the minor pentatonic scale too over each one of these chords. Check this out. Let's just show it closer up. In your favorite positions right there. 4 chord D, D minor. A minor pentatonic. E. D. A. D. A. E. Right? I know I'm just kind of whizzing by there, but really, the thing you have to remember though about that is that the one trick here is that if you wanted to play in between these pentatonic notes, like this, here's pentatonic, and the D, the E. I mean, that all works because it's just the pentatonic's 5 notes. But if you were to play the scale through that, the 3 would be different. Because we're all in the key of A minor here. The A minor scale would work over this. But over the D, you couldn't play that pattern. It would be different. It would be like this. It would be the Dorian scale, actually. And over the E, actually, was I playing D? Dorian. Over the E, it would be a Phrygian scale. You could play the E pentatonic. But if you were to play any notes around it, you would have to remember that you're playing the A minor scale within this shape. So if you're playing in E minor pentatonic, you have to remember that you're still going to play the A minor scale, which is here. Right? So in order to make that E work, you're really playing the A minor scale, but you're emphasizing E. So that's really an E Phrygian. I know, a lot of people don't like to talk about modes, really, and what it is, but it's good to, in the back of your head, to go, you know what? I'm playing an A minor scale, but I know this pattern of E Phrygian. E Phrygian. D, Dorian. See right there. Oops, sorry. Watch, here's an example of it. That was a bad example. D Dorian. Back to A minor. E Phrygian. D Dorian. A minor. E Phrygian. E Phrygian dominant's what does. So that, that's how that kind of works out too. You're playing E Phrygian. Over that 5 chord, when it gets major, you're taking the E Phrygian and just making it major. And that's all that makes the Phrygian dominant. You're just raising the 3rd. Otherwise, it's just a minor. That's what it is over the 5 chord anyway. So if you're all in one position, and that's where it gets a little confusing right there. If you're in one position doing this, A minor, D, you're still playing over the D chord, the A minor scale. So when you go over the 5 chord here, that's E, you have to remember where the A minor scale is here. See right there, so you have this, because E is going to be like a E to F, you have a half step there. D, you have that major 6 on the D. All right, so hopefully you're learning something from here. getting something out of this. All right. Very, very, very cool. So yeah, it's good to know like the A minor scale with all these chords in this one area. Because then you can noodle around the triads and the scale, kind of like this, right here. D minor. Play some scale notes. Check this out. Oops. It's crazy. My finger gets stuck here going from this G sharp to an A. Which is not good. Making excuses. So, all right. Hopefully you're enjoying this. Hopefully you're getting something out of this. So it's really, really cool framework here. I would suggest just staying in one position, like playing this A minor pentatonic where you know and love it. And then learn the triads in here on each string set. A minor triad here, A minor triad here, A minor triad here, A minor triad here, or here. So you have these notes, here, here, and here. And then the same thing with on the 4 chord. Check it out. Different string sets. This is a really great practice. Over the D minor here, D minor here, D minor here. Right, that's a D minor. D minor. Here. And over the E, it's the same thing as this D. D. A minor. D. A minor. E major. So you take just straight string sets. It's really great practice. Where's the E minor right here? D minor. A minor. D minor. E major. Take it down here. This string set. Here's that A note. Pentatonic scale. It's D minor. Where's the E? E right there. D. A minor. D. A minor. E major. So you can do that with all different string sets. Oops. And that's pretty cool, I think. And just keep going down the line right there. You know, lots of ways to memorize the fretboard that way too. Just kind of honing in on all this stuff. Some guy, hey Jeffrey. And I love that. Person, turquoise waving. Some guy. Or E major in the D position. Yeah, E major in the D position. That would be like this. E major, D position. That's what we did before there too. E major. There's another way of doing that harmonic minor lick. Then get down here to this one, to the D. You know. Major. Pretty fun stuff here. Very, very simple. Give you a round of applause. What else would you rather do on a Monday? All right? And we could mention my guitar course, Essential Skills Collection for Guitar. Now check this out. There's a link in the description for this. Go over 4 important topics here. Fretboard memorization, where we could easily identify where all the notes are on the neck. I go through the circle of fifths, where you're essentially playing in every different key, which is really great. Blues soloing, like what we're doing right now. And then I work on the cage system. We talk about the cage system and study that. So check that out. There's a link in the description for that. I would appreciate that. Lots of good stuff inside there. So we're going to wrap it up here soon. Any questions about any of this stuff, let me know. There's so much we could talk about and discover here with all this stuff. But I wanted to just kind of keep it simple as possible, you know. Keeping those triads in there. Use some chromaticism in there. Because once you know the framework of this, so it looks like that. Try that, something like a little chromatic lick. off the rails a little bit here. Stormy Monday. Yeah, it sounds like a storm, doesn't it? All right, thanks so much here for watching. Very, very, very cool of you for spending some time. Any ideas for any future lessons here, just let me know here. Leave a comments and leave a message right here in the chat. If there's anything you want me to do for next week. Speaking of next week, I think it's going to be on a Monday again because I'll be flying home on Sunday as usual lately. So yeah, coming home on the 24th. So we'll do it again on Monday the 25th. And thank you very much for that. Thanks for hanging out here with me. You guys are the best. Thank you, Jeffrey. Thanks, Clarence. Another great lessons. Means a lot to me. Very cool. Some guy. And Darth Cat. I think that's the first time for you to come in. Maybe I've seen you here before. I'm not sure, but thank you very much. Very cool. And Rusty, never too late to the party. Thanks for hanging out with me here today. And we'll do one more pass of the blues just for fun. Here, one more little pass, and we'll call it a day. We ended on a good note there. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Very, 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 very cool of you. I love you so very much. You have no idea how much I love you. So remember, be cool, be kind, be cherry. Keep playing. Keep those guitars warm for sure. Keep those fingers flowing. And if you want to see another video on mapping the minor triads within each pentatonic position all over the fretboard, which is a really great one, I'll put that one right up there for you to see. Love yous, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a great week, and I'll catch you soon. Peace.